Hey guys, Mr. Beetle890 here. Today I just decided I was going to make a video on part-timers who, recently have become... There are quite a few part-timers that come and go in the WWE. You have the likes of The Undertaker, who probably won't be doing it anymore, but has been doing it for the past few years. You've got Chris Jericho, Rob Van Dam. You could argue Batista as well. The Rock, obviously. So yeah. But what are my thoughts on part-time wrestlers? I mean, there's obviously people having part-timers. It's a big kind of discussion on the internet and on the IWC, and I always kind of thought about this. Do I like part-timers in the WWE? And and I think, yeah, I do. I think having part-timers in the WWE are good for the company. It's especially if you have someone like a Rock, return. He's obviously very big in Hollywood, that sort of thing. So it's good promotion for them. And also the way I see it, so having someone like a Chris Jericho come back, so usually him and RVD especially, always usually tend to do, they'll put over some young up and coming guys. For example, Jericho put over Fandango at WrestleMania last year, and RVD recently has done quite a few. He's put over Seth Rollins in some matches on Raw, and even on NXT he put over Adrian Neville, the NXT champ. So that was very surprising. Well, it's I think with part-timers it's good having them put over talent and stuff, but the only problem is with like a Chris Jericho especially, always putting over young guys, is the fact that it just makes him look very weak. So now when you beat someone like a Chris Jericho, it just doesn't look as, it's not as kind of oh wow, he beat Chris Jericho, because so many people in recent time Jericho's put over, which is a good thing, but again, it's not as big. He's not as big. It makes him not look as big as he once was, meaning the win is not as significant for that person, which is a shame really, because if you think about all the people he's put over, Jericho, you got your Zigglers, you've got your Fandangos, those sort of people, and I think I'm fine with Jericho putting over young talent. However, I think what they should have done with Jericho this year when he came back, on Raw, was what they should have done was they should have had him maybe go in a feud with someone, build momentum. So then that way he looks, like a legit guy, and then you have someone like a Bray Wyatt come in and beat him, which makes Bray Wyatt's character back up, since he's completely buried since he's been buried by John Cena. So I think as long as you book someone like that, well, and then make them look big and have them lose to a part-time, it's great. It's fine. It's great. And it's great that you have people like Jericho who are, and are willing to do that sort of thing all the time. And RVD, surprisingly, he actually does put over a lot of guys as well, which is good. People always think of Jericho as doing it, but I think RVD's done it, a lot. When he returned in 2013, he put over Del Rio at Night of Champions. Well, at Battleground, and he put over Dean Ambrose. I'm being general. Well, putting them over. He lost by DQ, but he's had some matches with them, and he's made them look pretty good as well. So yeah, and then now he's, as I just said, he put over Rollins on Raw and Neville on NXT. So I think it's good to have these guys who can come back and help the young guys elevate themselves. And then, but what I never get is people always never complain about Jericho and RVD return, coming back, they're always like, oh yeah, it's great to have them back and everything. And yet when someone like a Rock comes back and wins the title, they get all kind of like pissed off and are like, oh, it's unfair that a part-timer should win the title and everything. But the only reason people are actually complaining about The Rock winning the title was because he beat CM Punk, who, on the IWC is God. And I like CM Punk. He's been one of my favourite wrestlers of all time, and of probably my favourite of the PG era. I mean, obviously up there with Daniel Bryan as well. But I didn't mind Rock winning against Punk because it was it was good for the company having Rock as champion, brought in big money. I mean, whether I liked it or not, his match with Cena brought in big money. I mean, the match wasn't great. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't spectacular as their last match. So, I think it's fine. And also people are fine with, Brock Lesnar ending. Obviously, people are fine now. They're like, oh, after Cena won at Money in the Bank, they would just like, oh no, I don't really care because Lesnar's going to beat Cena at SummerSlam, so there's no real kind of, you don't need to worry and nothing. But whereas if this was CM Punk who'd won the title, or Daniel Bryan, and then you had Lesnar beat one of them, the whole internet would just be kind of like, oh, this is so stupid. So it's just, I think it's unfair how the internet always just kind of side with these guys. I mean, I'm fans of the same guys pretty much. I have similar opinions as a lot of the IWC, but when it comes to part-timers, I just think, it's not a bad thing having them win the titles. And you can't just jump on the bandwagon if they beat someone you don't like and then, bash them when they're like, oh, and they beat your guy and you're like, oh, how dare they, So it's just, So overall, my thoughts on part-timers, for example, people like RVD and Jericho, it's good to see they put over young guys. However, I would like them to kind of, when they come back, to elevate themselves instead of going in straight to getting, putting over young guys. It doesn't make them look as, as big of a force to beat for the young talent. Whereas when it comes to someone like a Lesnar or a Rock, when they part time, I think having them win the titles is good. Especially the Rock, it brings in money for the company, and it brings in more pay-per-view buys because you never really see them wrestle as much. So, and don't bitch and whine when they beat someone that you like, and then don't get all happy and say this is great, when either stick with one on both sides, or either hate part-timers when they do it to people you like and don't like, or just appreciate it. That's the way I see it, and I like part-timers. I think it's good. I mean, obviously I can understand why it's unfair, the whole unfair idea, to be honest. But if you're not gonna care when they beat someone you don't like, it's just, and care when they beat someone you do like, it's just very hypocritical. So I just so yeah, overall, in my opinion, part-timers are okay. They're good for the WWE. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. You can put yours in the comment section below, and give me some ideas for my next video, because I don't do these talk videos that often because I never really know what to talk about. But this was a video I think I can talk about, and thanks for watching, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe.